NPP based on yaye coalition and yaye near Dinkunim ewo and after so pin sheeter yakoto aba electoral commission edema political parties no yakika ni nya bom no near Dinkunim offer constituencies ni nyina baby et say Ablekumanov o hwe votes a NPP nya awa Ablekumanov aye 34,613 na NDC candidates esu nya 34,199 HSA ye candidate friend honorable Nana Ekwia Owusuafie no edinkunim 414 votes. So we Ablekumanov everywhere. Over Tema Central so o share your results are near quality based on pin sheeter electoral commission na de ma ya. O who said your candidate a year forcing enya 18,870 and NDC candidate no enya 18,115. Ufri Ablekuma North Naba Krowor Central and also yera Patribuama our yemra shebedwanu wo ho ono so o collect the results ni nyina area obo say NPP candidate no nya 20,229 NDC candidate ni nya 18,783 to show vote difference na wo na 1,446 vote difference na ka 3 polling stations and say kan NDC for na amping just all kinds of 3 polling station votes no crabuma still your candidate and edin kunim ewo ho oba bebe to say domain kwabenya also so NDC for no 2 trasem ne basabasa e call ho no omantima amboa ma collation na ese koso odomain kwabenya eno so ankoso ewo ho oba bebe to say for north constituency a o kan ye pin sita de o nyina boma ye candidate eye nanajima Eric nanajima prempe enya 20,353 as against NDC candidate we now 20,232 to shema vote difference no 121 vote difference oba be to say obwas is NPP near Dinkunim wo ho vote NPP candidate na ye 18,558 as against NDC candidate we now 18,539 and no electoral commission will be via no quality results na wie na so NDC for macho man for war to trust them ho e share electoral commission your candidate say results NPP enya no ye fa NPP dey NDC ne fa NDC dey NPP a o dey kan to esi so say obewu na so be parliament dey na ope and o mtintin your candidate nsa o ye no free afa north south west and so your candidate o we share votes are now 16,058 and NDC candidate now 16,000 you candidate now 16,058 and NDC candidate now 15,372 and we share vote margin the BTN this now there is 686 votes and so NDC for 2 transfers are or ma electoral commission and quality results na we over Techiman South South so honorable Martin Kokweje Mensa Kosa no Dinkunim or South constituency wo our votes are near quality unya 46,468 as against NDC candidate unya 43,365 votes and so said the NDC 4 year to try some Krowor Central afano southwest and afano south afano north no sa no me call ha Techiman South intimin kan wi in sawa adroje so the same issue and the course so e wo ho and no crowd there said the area frenyo market my church leader kan no e ko share what tesa no na ka yes electoral commission eto so metimi kan wi NDC the patapasem to trasem sa massa exercise no am yan kwanko wi na wa ba our win constituency also so electoral commission start to can results no ya sha what mean say figures bi wo ha wo polling station wo ha o ma than figures no enti eno so ya call electoral commission say honor results no so esa moment you call as a party so egusu aye hwehwem na ofa constituency bi to say suhum Fantia Panof any Aquatia enam se na bambo enisa constituency hono amsade call region bamba hono ye de call tesano police training school hono asundwe wo nti etimi quality ni nyina ye wie no ampa se the NPP ye kan ye dinkunim e osuhum Aquatia na Fantia Panof ye say baby a ba bedru no ye say electoral commission say aka standing constituency sa yen kan wie ya es wo hwe eme kan ye say ye IGP ewura dampare o sheyebo say abato ebetu na ma asundua abam na normal ekoso no nesa na yehu no say NDC timi de 2 million monsem na police gina ho police ntimi nya hwe na omo ye tutu asem ho ti ye say ne say bambo bi eso de ma electoral commission say be ya electoral commission ebetima ye omo adwuma wie no say bambo de fama electoral commission no nya say adwuma obetin say NDC for kan on farmer say NPP yes ye win ye court ye nyam do baby yes ye court if the electoral commission on quality results in we en gazette here enu ntibaka so be nyina say court ye nyam we collation ni de ese ye collation ni we na ogidie say electoral commission ye collation ni we a NPP e bedin kunim all sa constituencies enti na frame ene no yeda mu nyina amase.
All right, thank you. The returning officer, in response to what the NDC hoodlums had ordered him to do amid the threat of his life, only said, "I declare you as a winner," without even mentioning the name of the candidate nor the number of votes obtained by any of the candidates as required by law. Equally, the Parliamentary Results Collation Sheet Form 1C and Parliamentary Results Summary Sheet Form 1D could not be filled as required by Regulation 43(1)B of CI 127. Additionally, the returning officer could not issue out the rate Form 1B as required by Regulation 43(1)G. I pose this question, that if your hand is raised that you have won an election and you go to the house, what are you going to show to your wife or your husband that you have won an election? There must be a documentary proof. So if your hand is only raised that you have won an election and you go home, what are you going to tell your wife or your husband, or what are you going to show him or her that you have won an election? The processes are documented in Regulation 43 of the CI. So if it's incomplete, it's incomplete. So that's for Madam Mekwe and Ablikuma North. 2, we move on to Tema Central constituency. Data on the face of the pinches from all the 148 polling stations in Tema Central shows clearly that the NPP parliamentary candidates, Charles Forson, won the parliamentary elections for the constituency with 55 votes difference. He obtained 18,870 votes to beat the NDC's candidate Ebi Bright, who polled 18,815. When the NDC realized that they had lost, they sent their party thugs to disrupt the coalition exercise. These thugs overpowered the security and ran amok at the coalition center, injuring innocent people in the process. This compelled the Tema Metro EC Director, Mr. Ofosuhene A. Manasseh, to call for a suspension of the coalition in view of the prevailing chaos and other security concerns. Coalition resumed on Monday, 9th December, at the Tema Regional Police Command, which was again disrupted by the NDC thugs, who stormed the coalition center in their hundreds and overpowered the police. The thugs took charge of the coalition process and ordered the EC to declare their parliamentary candidate, Ebi Bright, as the winner of the elections, when it was left with 2 pink sheets to complete the coalition process. The NDC knew very well that when the results of the 2 remaining polling stations are added to what had been collated for the candidates, the NPP parliamentary candidate, Charles Forson, will beat their candidate by 55 votes. The polling station codes of the 2 outstanding stations and votes obtained by the two candidates are code C231309B, NPP 170 votes, NDC 103 votes. The second polling station outstanding is C231707, and here NPP got 279 votes and NDC 173. When the returning officer for the constituency resisted their attempt to compel him to declare the NDC candidate as the winner of the elections, the NDC brought in a staff of the Electoral Commission from a different constituency, Tema West, to do the declaration for the Tema Central constituency without the inclusion of the two remaining pink sheets. Here too, the Form 1B, 1C, and 1D were all not filled by the officer as required by the law. They use an A4 sheet to fill the statutory form. Show the video. You have the video of the A4 sheet? All right. So that is what happened at Tema Central. We now move on to Okaikwe Central constituency. The NPP candidate and incumbent MP for Okaikwe Central constituency, Honorable Patrick Yabuama, won the parliamentary elections with a vote margin of 1,446 votes difference. The NPP candidate, Honorable Patrick Yabuama, obtained 20,229 votes as against NDC's Baba Sadiq, who polled 18,783 votes with only 3 polling stations remaining. The records show that even when all the votes in the 3 polling stations are added to the NDC's candidate, it will not offset the vote difference. This is important. Even when all the 3 outstanding polling stations are added on to the NDC candidate, it would not offset the vote difference. At this moment, the collation process was disrupted by the NDC thugs, who stormed the collation center and sought to destroy critical electoral materials, including pink sheets essential for verifying the results. They took control of the collation process and threatened the EC's officials to declare their candidate as winner, resulting in chaotic scenes which led to suspension of the constituency collation. The parties were invited to the EC Regional Collation Center on Monday, 9 December 2024 to complete the collation process. The NDC insisted that they would not accept the continuation of the collation and demanded that the EC should declare their candidate as winner of the parliamentary election. Under visible duress, the returning officer excluded the results from 31 polling stations and declared the results based on only 110 polling stations. This action is inconsistent with the electoral laws as it excludes legitimate votes cast by constituents and fails to reflect the true outcome of the elections in Okaikwe Central. The NDC's disagreement was based on alleged issue with certain polling stations. The attacks stormed the electoral EC collation center and coerced the returning officer to declare. And here too we have video footages to corroborate these incidents of vandalism and physical abuse of the electoral staff. I don't think you can show the footage.
This one is applicable. We will share with them. We share the media. Let's go to the media.
All right, so let's go to the 4th one, Domi Kwabenya constituency. We will share these videos with you. During the collation at Domi Kwabenya constituency collation center, the NDC hoodlums attacked the collation center, destroyed electoral materials on site, bent ballot boxes, thereby truncating the collation process. The returning officer informed parties to leave the collation center on account of the security challenges, which made it impossible to continue with the collation. The returning officer assured the candidates and their agents that she would communicate a new venue for the continuation of the collation. We are, however, hearing that there was a purported declaration of results under duress, and that too in our absence, contrary to requirements of Regulation 43 of CI 127. Equally, the Parliamentary Results Collation Sheet Form 1C and Parliamentary Results Summary Sheet Form 1D was not filled as required by Regulation 43 1B 1 and B of CI 127, and the rate of declaration Form 1B was also not issued as required by Regulation 43 1 and G. The NPP candidate or his agent has still not been informed of the new venue for the continuation of the collation, contrary to the assurances given by the returning officer during the raid by the NDC tax. Well, we can report that based on our own collation, the NPP parliamentary candidate, Ambassador Michael Kwei Jr., won the parliamentary elections in Domi Kwabena, and are confident that when EC resumes collation, our position will be vindicated. 5. Ahafano North constituency in Ashanti Region. The NPP parliamentary candidate, Honorable Eric Nana Ajimai Prempeh, won the parliamentary elections with a margin of 121 votes as per data collated from all the 140 polling stations by the party. The NPP's candidate, Nana Ajimai Prempeh, has hard copies of all the 140 pink sheets that put him at 20,353 votes as against NDC's candidate at 20,232. I believe we all have witnessed what we call MP3 in Tema East some time back. So if somebody wins with a difference of 121, he has won. After all, the law says first past the post. During the collation by the EC at the Constituency Collation Center, NDC tax stormed the collation center at Tepa SHS and began destroying and burning electoral materials, particularly pink sheets, computers, and ballot papers, as well as properties of the Tepa SHS, including louver blades, benches, and tables. They also manhandled NPP representatives and EC officials. These violent conducts by the NDC tax, who had overpowered the police, prompted the intervention of the military to save lives and property. The NDC hoodlums did not only attack the collation center, but they also proceeded to launch an attack at the residence of the NPP parliamentary candidate, Honorable Eric Nana Ajimai Prempeh, bent his vehicle